Hey, welcome back to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, and trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so you can easily choose the best watch for yourself in the comfort of your own home. We offer the lowest prices anywhere online, and if you'd like to know the price, simply click on the links in the description below. We greatly appreciate if you'd purchase your next watch from us at JazzTime.com. Today we'll be talking about this Royal Oak from Audemars Piguet. This one, what I consider to be probably the most versatile Royal Oak in the entire collection as of the making of this video at least. Right? It's reference number 15450ST.OO.1256ST.02. That means that this one is basically, it's a 37mm Royal Oak from Audemars Piguet. It shows the date at the 3 o'clock position, entirely in steel with a Grand Tapisserie pattern dial, what they call a gray ruthenium tone on that dial color. All right, so I'll be going over the case, the bezel, the dial, as well as the crown functions, the movement, and this bracelet, and I'll be giving my thoughts on those throughout this video. So starting off with this case, we do have the 37mm case from finger to thumb. That's the sort of diameter that you see there from 2 to 8 position, or also 10 to 4. Same distance, same 37mm. It has a 9.8mm thickness, so it will slide rather easily under most suit cuffs, and it also has a water resistance of 50 meters after casing with the winding crown, as well as the sapphire crystal on the front as well as on the back, as you can see. All right, so that's all with the case. Entirely fully stainless steel in its construction, a nice satin brush finishing along the sides, going vertically actually from the top to bottom, or bottom to top, either way, right, as you can see, going along the sides, and as well as on the front, as evident on the integrated lugs here. You can see the full satin brush finishing with a very, very thin, high polish little accent going on that bevel across the corners there, as you can see, leading down into the lugs and into the links themselves. All right, and you get the same general sense from this bezel on the very front as well. What they call the rounded octagonal bezel. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, this is octagonal in its presentation and its literal look, at least on the outside, the inside being a perfect circle. It also has these hexagonal screws that are placed such that the slots on them sort of form their own circle, sort of Audemars Piguet giving their own sort of gestalt visual principle of closure, sort of creating its own unique circle using these screws and their slots, as you can see, angled in such a way that it sort of completes its own and encloses its own sort of circle before the crystal itself, sapphire in its construction and slightly glare proof, so you can see that dial very nicely. And speaking of that dial, what I consider one of the most versatile portions of this watch is this gray ruthenium. Now, why would it be the most versatile? Well, it's because it's sort of that mid-tone gray color. You don't get a super dark shade. You don't get a very light tone. You get it all in this dial. All right, as you can see, it does have that sort of sunray or sunburst type of finishing. That's thanks to the guilloche patterning that you can see. If you use a loop, you can see it much more easily, but it's within those raised squares that you can see on that Grand Tapisserie patterning that actually creates that nice sort of visual pattern that you can see based on, you know, the position and the angle within my light box here. All right, so given that it has that entire range of tonal values, it can go with just about anything. Super brightly colored clothing, light suits, dark suits, whatever you happen to have, this can go with it because it's a very neutral color. And the neutrality here is sort of its charm, because not only does the dial sort of, you know, fit that mid-tone color scheme, so does the entire watch. The entire watch being in stainless steel, you can wear it with anything, you can wear it anywhere. Because of that strength in the steel, you can basically wear this, you know, while you're walking your dog. You can do so. You can wear this at your next board meeting, whatever you want. You can wear this anywhere without fear of, you know, potentially doing irreversible damage to the watch bracelet or the bezel, the case itself, any parts of this watch. You can wear this even to the beach if you so desired. I wouldn't recommend it, but you could if you so desired. All right, so considering that, especially with this dial color, it actually does fit very nicely with this overall color scheme, being the very, very neutral color tones here. That means, again, you can wear this with anything. Therefore, it's the most versatile. All right. Now taking a look at the functions of this watch, it's rather simple and it's what you would expect. Simply unwind the crown at the 3 o'clock position to the first position. This allows you to wind the watch. So if you're at a dead stop, about 20-ish winds will get you to the full power reserve. Rather simple there. All right, and once you start feeling the damping and the resistance start to ramp up, that's when you can stop. That's a very good indicator for that. Pull the crown out to the next position, and you can actually advance the date forward by continuing to rotate the crown clockwise. All right, and actually, let me progress the time to a different time here, because the quick set date should only be actuated within safe times. All right, so as you saw, the date did not advance forward. That's because the date was actually the date wheel was actually engaged. So don't do that for sake of future prospects, because you don't want to damage the movement potential or even break it. All right, but doing it once, it's okay. Just don't do it again. All right, so clockwise rotations will advance the date forward. It's about a quarter turn. So if you find yourself on the, say the 30th of a month, and tomorrow is the 1st of the next month, just wind it once and you're good to go. You'll be on the 1st of the next month once the hour hand rolls around past midnight. Pull the crown out to the final position. Note that the seconds hand does in fact stop, giving you that hacking function, so you can then place the hour hand by rotating the minute hand around. All right, and then place the minute hand precisely based on the position of that seconds hand. I do recommend that you, well, if you do move the minute hand backwards, that you do afterwards move it forward, and then that be the final sort of motion that you place with that minute hand, so that when you press the crown in, there's no weird movement of that minute hand once it re-engages and starts up that seconds hand once more. All right, screw in that winding crown nice and tightly back against the case to ensure that 50 meters of water resistance. Again, 50 meters, not a whole lot. Surface swimmable. You can probably go in your backyard pool, but don't go deep sea diving with it. You'll be good to go. All right, so what makes all of this work is on the inside, the self-winding made AP made caliber 3120. All right, you can see it through the case back, the exhibition case back, so you can see both the winding rotor, the 22 karat gold, yellow gold winding rotor, center mounted, as you can see with the Audemars and Piguet family crests on there. All right, it has a total of 280 parts, 40 of them being the jewels for this movement. And it also has this total diameter of 26.6 millimeters, so it fits in that sort of exhibition range very nicely. Whatever you see here, that's the whole movement. A very good framing of that sort of that back side bezel, very, very small, but it does fit in this case very nicely, and therefore it also gives itself the positioning of that date window just a little bit inward, so that you have a tiny index marker at the 3 o'clock position. I'll cover that in just a second. All right, so you do have this movement. It does have a 60-hour power reserve, so it does mean that you can wear this for the entire week. You can set it down on a Friday evening, pick it back up on a Monday morning, ready to conduct business. No need to wind the watch. Just wear it all day Monday and you're good to go. All right, so now taking a look at the dial here again, one thing I forgot to mention is that the index hour marks do have the luminescence applied onto them. All right, 18 karat yellow or white gold marks with luminescence applied onto them gives a very nice green tint to those markers, those Royal Oak hands fitting in very nicely with the index hour marks, with the sort of general overall look to them, long and thin. And also, if you take a look at the 3 o'clock position, there is a tiny bit of luminescence there. That means there is a tiny index hour mark there. So, well, you won't get lost telling the time when it's around 3 o'clock, but I don't think that would be an issue regardless, because you do have that date window, the date aperture there, to tell you exactly where the 3 o'clock position is regardless. All right, so taking a look at the framing of this watch, you do have the full integrated stainless steel bracelet. All right, as designed by Gerald Genta himself. He does have that credit to him being, you know, the watchmaker to save Audemars Piguet and ultimately the mechanical watch industry through the quartz crisis by start creating these luxury watches with integrated bracelets. And the integrated bracelet here, quite special, and well, special in the grand scheme of watches themselves, but very standard for Audemars Piguet. It's zero variation here, so it's a very, very smooth transition from the tapering. You can't really feel the sharpness, only along the edges here, which you know, you can feel the solidity, the sharpness of these bevels, not so much the sharpness of the corners of the bracelet itself. That's how incredibly low tolerance it is, how smooth it actually feels to the touch. There's a gentle taper down to the Audemars Piguet logo, just a letter form. The AP sandblasted in there with a satin brush finishing, as you can see, going all the way around this entire bracelet. And actually also should mention, between links, a high polish. So it does give these links and the intermediate links as well a sense of like glowing and sort of modularity to them, that, you know, you're not getting just a solid piece of metal, you're getting tiny little bits of metal. And when you put this on your wrist, it feels great. It feels supple and soft to the touch, right? It's a double deployment symmetrical butterfly style clasp. You have the full wordmark logo on the inside on both sides there, right? And facing each direction, right? And while I'm here, I can actually show you how it wears on the wrist. On my wrist, a 7-inch wrist, be sure to clip one side in and then the AP logo on the second part there, all right? And when it comes to my 7-inch wrist, it actually fits very nicely. And, you know, honestly, I do prefer the 36 millimeters from Rolex Datejust and, you know, day dates and the like. This 37, a very good compromise there. Even though it's 1 millimeter larger than the Datejust from Rolex, it does fit my wrist very nicely. I do have a good framing from the 12 to 6 o'clock when it comes to the bracelet presentation. When I'm just looking at the dial face on, the dial, not too big, not too small. For me, it's just right. And that also lends to the versatility because it does fit my wrist, a 7-inch wrist, pretty much perfectly. Hardly any space under these lugs, so it hugs the wrist very nicely. That means it will slide easily under a suit cuff thanks to the, you know, the overall form factor of this watch. A very good fit and a very good feel on the wrist with the full links as well. So again, this can fit just about anyone. If you have a larger wrist than mine, say like 7.58 inches, you'll probably have to ask your local dealer for extra links, because for me, it fits me, well, not entirely snug, but there's a tiny bit, just a very tiny bit. I could take one link out and still be fine, but you know, if you have a larger wrist, you may need to consider the larger size, the 15400 or even 15500 models from Audemars Piguet, all the Royal Oaks, but those are 41 millimeters. This one, a 37 millimeter, fits me very nicely, and I'm sure if you have a smaller wrist, it'll fit you excellently as well, because Audemars Piguet do sort of make their watches a little bit larger for smaller wrists. So if this one fits me perfectly, that means it's a little small for me, but I do actually like this much more. I prefer it over the 41 millimeters, the sort of flagship models. And certainly when it comes to the overall look, again, the most versatile Royal Oak in the entire lineup, as of the making of this video at least. Anyone can wear this, man, woman, anywhere in between or outside of that. Maybe even your dog can wear this and it'll still fit very nicely. So be sure to like this video. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell notification so you can be notified when we go live with another video like this one. And as always, if you'd like to purchase this watch or any other watch, visit our store online at jazztime.com. Links in the description below where you can get it for the lowest possible price anywhere online. That's market value, of course. And we'll see you in the next video. Take care.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to model as seen in video, click on it and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.